That's a very interesting question. Yeah, we know the definition from the What is Spiritism book, but if you look at from all we've seen, right, it's much more than just a religion. It's much more than just a philosophy. It's much more than just a set of books. To me personally, it's a way of life. It's how I can explain the things that happen to me in my own life, and it's the way I can explain the world that I live in, right? So if we go back to the definition per se, which is the science that deals with the interactions between spirits and the material world, we're all living beings, we're all spirits who are here in this planet. But there's also a practicality component that I'd like to mention, which is it's the compass by which I live my life. Spiritism brings the set of tools, the resources, the knowledge, the environment, so I can really learn by myself to make better, more decisions that are more based on knowledge that I get beyond just the world that we're living. This to me is Spiritism. And if you look at that from practicality component, it has to make sense in everything that I do in my life. It has to make sense not only when I come to the Spiritist Center to watch a talk or to get passes or to drink magnetic water. It's much beyond that. It's a 24/7, I should say, right? A commitment that we make to ourselves to get better, to learn where we come from, to learn where we're going, to learn that we're in this world, in this planet, in a transitory stage, right? This is not our only life. Our life is much wider than this own chapter. If you remember the old days, when movies, they had intermissions, right? Or TV commercials, this is just one set of that big movie, which is our own lives. To me, Spiritism gives me the tools, the resources, as I mentioned, the resources, and everything that I need to be able to comprehend my movie or everybody's movie in a way that we are not only this own chapter, not only this own incarnation. So let's think, for example, if whatever you're doing, right? If you're carrying yourself out in a way that you're always trying to help others, which is what we try to do, aspire to do as Spiritists, right? Charity is one of our main behaviors that we aspire to. But in anything that you do, when you understand that everything happens for a reason, and there's also a consequence, which is not the same as saying that there's destiny. Destiny is what we make to ourselves. But if you're in that situation, whatever it is, right, there's a reason for that. So if you understand the reason, that maybe those afflictions, let's say if you're going through some difficult times, maybe those affliction times have been caused either in this incarnation, this present life, or in a past one. When you understand that, you change your focus. You stop blaming everything else, and you understand that the two most important things that I learned from Spiritism is a very good one, which is my only deceptions and all my deceptions and all my happiness depend only on me. And the other difficult thing that I learned from Spiritism is all my happiness and all my deceptions depend on me as well. So I'm the one that controls my future. I'm the one that controls my life. And we understand that this is only one chapter of our own lives, right? We say, you know what? This is only one stage, right? So whatever it is that I'm going right now, right, has a continuum. So I'm going to try to be, once again, at my best behavior. I'm going to try to do my best, not to do anything wrong or not to disappoint people, because guess what? If I do something that drives or fosters a behavior on somebody else, I'm responsible for that. And on the same token, how many times maybe a smile in the morning, right, may avoid a suicide down the road? Sometimes a good morning, sometimes a kind gesture of any sort, right, can really derail somebody else doing something very, very bad in the future. And we're also responsible, everything that we do, right, every behavior that we foster on somebody else, we're responsible for those as well. A little bit of responsibility for those as well. So when we understand that, right, your reality broadens significantly. When we understand that this is not our only life, a lot of things change, right? When Jesus himself promised that he was going to send the promised consoler, right, or the third revelation, we'd like to believe, we'd like to think that it is Spiritism. So of course we follow Jesus' teachings. Of course we see Jesus as our model and guide. Speaking of which, this is question 625 from the Spirit's book. So when you look at that, right, it's trying to understand Jesus' Christianity with a totally different lens, totally different paradigm, right? So when he was here 2,000 plus years ago, he could not have told us everything because we were not ready back then. If you're back to the point of reincarnation and continuous evolution, we as a people, right, we were not ready to see and to hear, right, some of the truths that today we're able to hear. So also thanks to science, thanks to a lot of developments in our current world, we are more prone to understand and to make sense of things such as reincarnation, such as cause and effect, such as God as the creator of the universe, right? So all these understandings of the world around us, it's a lot easier. I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's a lot easier to understand now than it was 2,000 years ago. And of course, we follow Jesus. He's our model and guide. I don't like the word master, right? I like the word professor or teacher, because to me, he's a big teacher. He's the one giving me guidance, directions. Every time you open up the gospel, that's a teaching for me. That's a, hey, Flavio, don't do this or do that, or blessed are those who. So when I look at this, right, to me, it's like my first grade teacher telling me, dude, you got to do this, or Flavio, you need to do that, or don't forget this here, don't forget that. And to me, it's lessons that, you know, we are reminded every single day. So when you look at the gospel according to Spiritism, right, which is really the moral laws of Jesus explained through the lens or the prism of Spiritism, we see the very same teachings, but with a different interpretation, with different understanding behind those. And the interesting thing about the gospel, it's one of my favorite books. I'm sure it's favorite from a lot of people that are Spiritists. It gives us a comprehension of the scriptures in a very much more in-depth way, right? So for example, there's some, I mean, I can go here forever and forever, but there's some interesting passages that without the help from other spirits that contributed to the gospel, right? And there's giving us a little more broader perspective of reincarnation, of cause and effect, right? Of the moral laws, some of those moral laws that they don't really make sense to us. For example, Jesus said, you know, if somebody hits you from one side of your face, you should give out the other. What does he mean by that, right? Should I just, you know, be at somebody? No, of course not, right? You understand that revenge, it won't take you anywhere. It won't get you anywhere, right? To me, when I look at the gospel or even Jesus' teachings overall, to me, the word that really strikes out is forgiveness. No matter what happens to us, no matter what people do to us, we should always forgive. To me, personally, it is thanks to the gospel that I can see the scriptures, that I can see his teachings in a much more profound, in a much more in-depth way, if you will.